Hey, boys and girls. In math, we're going to start chapter 13, and we're going to be using graphs to find information. We're going to start by looking at our vocabulary cards, and this is going to show the different vocabulary words that we're going to see in this chapter. The first one is bar graph, and this is a picture of a bar graph. In this graph, it's asking what the student's favorite hobby is: dancing, running, or singing. In a bar graph, they use different colors, or in this bar graph, they use different colors to show the number of students that like dancing, running, and singing. So when you look at a bar graph, if you count your squares, or either you can go down to where the bar stops and then go down to the number, and you can see that that's how many students chose dancing. So 6 students chose dancing, 5 students chose running, and 7 students chose singing. Data is recorded information. So this is an example of recorded information. When asked about a favorite hobby, these were the different answers that were recorded for the data. So dancing and running and singing were the different options like we saw in the chart before. When you record data on a chart, there's usually a key at the bottom of the chart. The key shows what, in this chart, the key shows what each smiley face represents. So each smiley face equals 1 student. So beside blue, we see 2 smiley faces, so that means that 2 students chose blue as their favorite color. Beside green, there are 4 smiley faces, so 4 students chose green as their favorite color. And then beside yellow, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smiley faces, so 5 students chose yellow as their favorite color. This is the key at the bottom of the chart. A line plot looks like this. It usually shows a number line, and then it has X's above it to represent the answers. So this line plot is showing pencil length, so the length of different pencils in inches. So it's using the number of inches. 1 pencil, because it has 1 X above the number 4, 1 pencil is 4 inches long. 3 pencils were 5 inches long. 2 pencils were 6 inches long. And 1 pencil was 7 inches long. A picture graph. We saw this one earlier, the favorite color, and it shows pictures beside the different colors, and this is a picture graph. And remember, each smiley face equals 1 student. So 2 smiley faces are beside blue, so that means 2 students chose blue as their favorite color. This is a picture graph. It uses pictures. A survey is something that when you collect data from people, it's called a survey. And so this survey says, what is your favorite hobby? And some of the answers were dancing, running, and singing. Okay, now we're going to look at our Explore and Grow activity, which is on page 613 of your math books, if you want to follow along. We're going to use color tiles to complete the tally chart. Hang on 1 second. Okay, color tiles to come back up. All right, so we're going to drag the color tiles to show how many there are in each one. So we're going to look at our chart down here, which says tile colors, and we're going to start with blue. So we're going to drag all of our blue tiles beside blue. Okay, then we're going to drag all of our green tiles beside green. So there's 1, 2, 2, 3. Let's see if there's any more. Nope. All right, then we're going to drag all of our red tiles beside red. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to drag our yellow tiles down to yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's all of our tiles. Oop. All right, then we're going to check our answer. Right, now we're going to select each color tile, and it's going to show tallies for a tally chart. So if I click on each color tile, it shows tallies. So far I've clicked on 4 blue tiles, and when I click on the 5th one, it's going to make a slash, because anytime you have 5 tallies, you're going to make a slash for 5. Okay, so we have 5, 6, 7 blue tiles. We have 3 green tiles. All right, now we're going to make a slash for 5, and then 1 more, which is 6 red tiles and 4 yellow tiles. All right, this says to write it and answer a question about your tally chart. So I'm just going to write which one has the most. And then we're going to go back up. Which one has the most? All right, so then we're going to go back up and look and see which one has the most. And I can look at my tallies, and I see that there are 7 blue tallies, and 7 is more than 3, 7 is more than 6, and 7 is more than 4. So that means blue has the most tallies. So my answer is blue. All right, now we're going to go to our Think and Grow activity, which is on page 614 of your math books. Give me just a minute to get there. Okay, so we're going to use we're going to use the chart to help us answer the question. Newton conducts a survey. He asks 10 students about their favorite outside activity. He records that data. Use the data to complete the tally chart. So over here you can see the data: basketball, riding a bike, jump rope, running, riding a bike. All right, so we put tallies for those: riding a bike, jump rope, riding a bike. This is the 5th tally for riding a bike. So now we're going to make our slash for our 5th number. And then basketball. How many students chose basketball? 2 students chose basketball. Which activity is the most favorite? Riding a bike is the most favorite because it has 5 tally marks. And now we're going to do our show and grow, which is at the bottom of page 614 in your math books if you would like to follow along. We're going to use the data to complete the tally chart. So we're looking at a chart of our favorite subject, and our choices are math, science, social studies, and language arts. And right here were the answers that were chosen. So now we have to make a tally for each one. So I'm going to count all of the math, and then we're going to go in and make our tally marks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students that chose math. So I know that 7 is more than 5, so I'm going to go ahead and put 5 tally marks up. So that's 5, and then I'm going to add 6, 7. Okay, now we're going to count our science. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that like science. Let me go back and double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to use our tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's my tallies for science. Then I'm going to look at social studies, and we're going to count how many like social studies. So 1, 2 like social studies. So then we just need 2 tally marks for social studies. So 1, 2. Now we're going to see how many like language arts. So there's 1, 2, 3 students that chose language arts. So we're going to use 1, 2, 3 for language arts. Okay. Then our question says, how many students chose math? So if we look at math, we know that this is 5. So this is 5, 6, 7. So 7 students chose math. Which subject is the most favorite? So we're going to look at the one that has the most. 7 students chose math. 1, 2, 3, 4 students chose science. 2 students chose social studies, and 3 students chose language arts. So math has the most. Okay, now we're going to look at our apply and grow practice, which is on page 615 in your math books, and we're going to use the data to complete the tally chart. So this one is your favorite Arctic animal. So students looked at their favorite Arctic animals, and they chose between a fox, a reindeer, a polar bear, and an owl. So we're going to do like we did before and count our foxes first. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students that chose foxes. So I know that 6 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to go ahead and put my tally marks of 5 right here. So that's 5, and then one more makes 6. All right, now we're going to count the reindeer. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I can just use this group of tally marks to represent 5 because I know when I see a slash in my tallies, that shows 5. Okay, then we're going to count our polar bear, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to use our tallies for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to look at our owl. So there's 1, 2, 3 that chose owl. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then our question says, which animal is the least favorite? That means which one has the smallest number. So if we go back and look at our chart, we can see that owl only has 3 and the rest have more than 3. So owl has the smallest number. It has the least favorite. Okay, and then how many students did not choose fox? And how do you know? So how can we find out how many students did not choose fox? Well, here's our fox, so we're not going to count those because we're looking at the ones that chose all the other ones but did not choose fox. So 5 students chose reindeer, 4 students chose polar bear, and 3 students chose owl. So if we add 5 plus 4 plus 3, that would give us what number? That would be 12 because 5 plus 4 is 9, and then if we add 3 more, that makes 12. So 12 students did not choose fox, and 12 students chose reindeer, polar bear, and owl. Did more students choose fox or owl? So let's look at fox and owl. Which one has the most, fox or owl? Fox has the most. How many more students chose fox than owl? Well, there's 6 tally marks beside the fox, and there's 3 tally marks beside the owl. So when we subtract 6 minus 3, that tells us how many more chose fox than owl. Or we can count up from 3 to get to 6 to see what our number is. And that is 3 more. 3 more chose fox than owl. Did fewer students choose reindeer or polar bear? All right, so here's our reindeer and here's our polar bear. There's 5 tally marks beside reindeer and there's 4 tally marks beside polar bear. So which one has fewer? That means which one is smaller. Polar bear is smaller, so we're going to put polar bear here because polar bear has fewer than reindeer. How many fewer? Okay, so we're going to look at reindeer and polar bear. Polar bear has 4 and reindeer has 5. So how many more would polar bear need to get to reindeer? 4 plus 1 more would make 5. So 1 fewer. Okay, we're going to look and see which sentences are correct about this chart. Favorite Antarctic animal. So we're going to look and see which one of these sentences down here are right. So penguin, whale, and seal. All right, penguin, there were 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 that chose penguin as their favorite. Whale, there's 5, 6 that chose whale as their favorite. And seal, 5, 10, because this is 5 and this is 5, so 5 plus 5 makes 10. So 10 chose seal. All right. This says you survey 30 students. So we need to know if all of these tallies equals 30 because we need to know if this sentence is correct. So how many students were surveyed? So I'm going to go ahead and count all of my 5s first, and then I'm going to count my tallies that are left over. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Then we have 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So were 30 students surveyed? Yes. So that sentence is correct. 11 students chose whale. How many students chose whale? 5 plus 1 is 6. So that one is not true. 4 more students choose seal than penguin. All right, so let's look at seal. There's 5, 10, and penguin has 5, 10 plus 4 more, which is 14. So penguin has more than seal, so I know this one is not correct. 20 students did not choose seal. All right, how many students chose seal? 5, 10. So this is correct because 20 students did not choose seal, 10 chose seal. Actually, we're going to go back and count the other ones too to make sure that this one is correct. So if you count the penguin and the whale, we're going to see that 20 students did not choose seal. So penguin has 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then this has 5, 6. So 14 plus 6 equals 20. So that means that 20 students chose penguin or whale and they did not choose seal. So yes, that is correct. All right, we're going to look at our Think and Grow really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and let you get started on your practice. So Newton wants to survey 25 students. How many more students does he need to survey? All right, so to solve, we have to see how many students he's already surveyed over here. So the library has 3, zoo has 7, museum has 4, and play has 5. This is your favorite field trip. 3 plus 7 plus 4 plus 5. 3 plus 7 equals 10, and 4 plus 5 equals 9, so 10 plus 9 equals 19. So 19 students have already been surveyed. We need to know how many more students does he need to survey in order to get 25. So if we do 25 take away 19 equals 6. So he needs to survey 6 more students. Okay, you're going to go ahead and do your practice activity, which is on your Big Ideas Math, and you can get through that through your Clever. If you want to write some of your answers in your book, you may also do that. So the practice starts on page 617, but you need to go ahead and complete it on the computer so that we can see that you're doing your work.